This month's giveaway is a $10 gift card for your choice of PSN, Xbox Marketplace, Nintendo eShop, or Steam. How do you enter to win? It's simple. All you have to do is be a subscriber. Would you want additional entries? Then all you have to do is leave a comment on any of our full-length podcast videos for this month. The winner will be chosen at the end of the month. Good luck, and thank you for watching. If you spill that, I'm going to kill you.
We're good. Let's go.
Septa.
Dude, that's like, do not fucking spell it. Come on. Do you have to pour it into the mug so you won't knock it over?
No, I just won't play with the Legos anymore.
I will murder you on camera.
I'll watch.
Here, set it on this off the table. I seriously don't trust you. You want it on this side with all the wires or the side over there without all the wires? All right. Jesus fucking Christ. Do you need my coaster too? Oh, you figured that out. You actually did it. I mean, he was able to do it without that, but sure.
Hey, that one's also closed.
That's true.
For now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Press X Podcast, episode 16, your weekly podcast for gaming news and opinions, coming at you every Monday at noon Eastern. I am Kevin McManus. With me, Kellen Willard.
Hey.
Todd Broussard.
Hello.
Did he say it right?
I'll never get it right.
That'll be another episode.
Probably not.
No.
Today we're talking more about the PS4K. I'm getting kind of sick of this thing, but it's clearly happening, so rumors keep coming out about it. We're talking about Star Fox Zero reviews, or the lack,
pretty sick of it,
or the lack thereof. And we're talking about how every game that I seem to want is getting delayed, and I'm going to make some bold predictions about some games that are going to get delayed in the near future. And as always, we need unpopular opinions to talk about in our unpopular opinion segment, and comments and questions to talk about in our viewer question segment. So if you have any of those, leave them down below. Make them like a paragraph. Don't go too crazy, and we can talk about them on the show. So last week we started with what we were playing.
Okay.
This week we're starting with the news.
Like normal.
I was just really excited to talk about Battleborn.
Yeah,
Why?
I'm excited about a game this week, but yeah, whatever.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Can we start yet?
You can start.
All right. So Mafia 3 has a release date. This is the least exciting news to me of the week, so I put it first.
Yeah.
But October 7th, a lot of people actually pretty excited about this. Do you guys have any affiliation with the Mafia games at all?
I've never even looked at a cover of a Mafia game before.
I've seen the cover of one. That's all I got.
I haven't seen the cover of one.
Only because
so,
I used to sell them. But yeah.
No lie, I thought the Mafia games were like the Facebook thing.
I did too.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought they were too.
Yeah, I thought it was like a Facebook, like, that's Mafia Wars.
Same thing.
I had to do some research.
Those games are awesome.
I had to do some research to figure that out, and I was like, oh, this is like a real video game, and the trailer looks like a GTA style thing. I was like, oh, yeah, so that's cool. So October 7th, that's really all we have to say about that. I have zero interest.
Yeah, it's whatever.
It exists. So something I do have some interest in is Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Very excited for this game. One of my most anticipated games of the year we talked about earlier in this year.
Yeah.
It's been delayed, of course.
Sweet.
2 weeks, not too bad. We're looking now at a June 7th release date. They said that it's been delayed to take into consideration the beta feedback. So the beta just went live today, and then they were going to put out the game in, a few weeks, and they were like, well, we should push it back, that way we can actually implement the things that we were
That just hit them
feedback.
after they put the beta out?
Yes, apparently.
Okay.
So they're either lying or that's the problem. So like I said, I'm really excited for this game. I'm in the beta. I played it for like 45 minutes. I didn't get too much. I think I'm 14% done it, I think it said. It's a Mirror's Edge game. It plays like Mirror's Edge. It's way more open world feeling. You kind of run around on the rooftops and get missions and collect things. Like, there's just random stuff scattered throughout, and you can like hack different things and stuff like that. It's basically what you've seen in the videos. That's the gameplay. It's not going to sell well. I know this, but I'm glad that it exists. And something that I wanted to address about it was in the beta, a lot of people were complaining about how it looked because it runs at 720p.
Yeah.
And it looks really bad on the Xbox apparently because there's no texture pack or something.
Ooh.
Yeah, some of the characters aren't like put in completely.
Yeah, DICE did this with Battlefield 4's beta, and they did this with Hardline's beta as well. They just don't put in all that stuff for the beta. It's not meant to.
That's not what it's for.
Yeah, it's not meant to try to get you to buy the game. They're actually like testing it, and it seems that way. And considering the beta's closed and it was pretty difficult to get into, I think that speaks for that. So if you were worried that the game's going to look like trash because you've seen that, I'm 85% sure it's just because of that, and 15% scared that that's what the game is going to look like. It looks fine on the PlayStation 4, though, minus there are characters that aren't filled in.
Yeah, they're just blacked out.
Yeah, but like as far as the world, it looks fine.
Yeah, looks fine.
I-
There were a couple of things, but
The
nothing
lighting
crazy.
was a little weird and stuff like that, but yeah, the game seems sweet. I don't want to talk too much about it because I guess it could be spoilers because I literally did play the intro and everything of the game. But it's just basically a more complicated what you got in the other one, and there's no guns, and the combat's
And a
way
skill
more.
tree.
Yeah, there's skill trees. You start out with less abilities, but you pick your paths.
The no guns kind of got me. That was like,
That was one of the
a fun
first things
part.
they announced for the game.
Yeah,
Was that there's no guns
that
because
kinda
people
sucks.
hated that.
I love the gun.
I was fine
I
with
went
it.
around the whole game with a gun.
So I don't have a problem with the guns because they're completely optional.
Yeah.
Just give people an incentive to beat it without using a gun. Like if you beat the game without firing a gun, you get different. Like you could have done, they didn't do it, but you could have done an Infamous style thing where if you use guns and stuff, you get different abilities than if you don't. So you get like takedowns that steal their gun and shoot them and stuff.
Yeah.
Versus stealthy takedowns, which could have been cool. None of that's in the game though. So
No.
unless they're adding it in these 2 weeks. So June 7th. Something else about that, June is packed for me now, and I'm not a big fan of that. There's so many games coming out in June. That was my cushion. Like after Uncharted 4, I was gonna play Mirror's Edge, and then I was gonna play No Man's Sky, and now this is butting right up against No Man's Sky and E3. It's just like, ugh.
What a beating.
Yeah, and I don't know how long this game's gonna be or anything, but the fact that it's more open world seems
I
like
think it's
it'll
gonna
be
be a little longer
it'll
of a
be
game.
way long.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other
Way
one you
longer.
could beat in like
Yeah.
4 hours
Yeah.
if you did it right.
First time playing, you beat it in like 6.
Yeah, I think I beat it in 5 my first time. I don't know. So, publishing company Game Trust has now been created, and they were created by GameStop. We've known that GameStop wanted to get into publishing, and we know the name of their company now. Their first game is going to be Song of the Deep by Insomniac, who did Ratchet and Clank and Sunset Overdrive, great developer. They're going to have exclusive physical copies of the game in the store, I'm sure, and then they're going to get the revenue from the digital copies. So this seems to me like a good way for GameStop to
Stay in business.
not die.
To not die, yeah.
They've been trying everything. They've
To not
tried
die.
selling toys. They've combined with ThinkGeek. They sell codes in their store. They're
They
trying
buy
to get
gift cards.
They're trying to
they
get
use other stores' gift cards.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. They're trying to get the digital rights to games so you can sell digital games in their store. I don't know how that works.
I don't know. I think it's like the Microsoft thing all over again.
Kind of, yeah. So, but this seems like a good play. I like this play actually.
I think it's one of the first GameStop plays that I like.
Yeah, GameStop.
It's better than the gift card play.
Yeah, that's just not a good idea.
No, it's fucking stupid.
GameStop makes a lot of plays that are just awful.
Just
It's like,
fucking stupid.
ooh.
I think a lot of companies would want to get their game published by GameStop.
No, yeah, I'm sure you get prime marketing if you do that. Like everybody that goes into the store is
free
probably
advertising.
going to see
Yeah.
your game.
Yeah, it's free advertising.
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of downloadable titles that are like download only look for like self-published indie games are like, hey, GameStop, will you want to talk
just-
about this?
You print us a few thousand copies, you can have the rights to us.
Something that came to mind was the Jack Party Box game. They were, self-published, whatever, and then Telltale was like, "Hey, we'll publish it," and there's a disc of that game now that Telltale published. So,
Oh, really?
yeah. So I think it's gonna be like that. I think this is a good move for GameStop, and I like anytime that you can get more games that would have been digital only into
Yeah.
physical form, I'm down because I will buy them.
Yeah,
Because I'd rather have the physical copy.
For sure.
Even if it's a
I think
little indie
games
game.
like kind of stopped giving GameStop attention. You know, like they used to get like all kind of exclusives and stuff, and now their exclusives are like really fucking stupid.
You can get the
Like
2-inch Battleborn.
Battleborn one. Jesus Christ, it looks like I got it out of a fucking quarter machine.
So last week, it does. Last week we were talking about Battleborn, and you were like, "Oh, why don't you get it for Xbox?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'll think about it, whatever."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Why don't you get it from GameStop? There's a figure that comes with it." And I was like, "Well, it's probably not exclusive."
Yeah.
Spoilers, it is. I looked it up and it was. So I was like, "Crap," because I get the $12 off plus $10 back if I buy it from Best Buy.
Right.
So I was like, well, is the statue going to be worth like the $22 extra I'm going to
Yeah.
pay? So I looked up a video of somebody unboxing them. They might be as big as those things.
I'd rather have a Lego of them.
That'd actually be kind of cool.
That'd be fine. Yeah.
That might take some talent. But yeah, so I'm not buying Battleborn from GameStop, I guess is the...
I still might. I like shitty figures.
Maybe my favorite news story in a long time.
Oh yeah.
A countdown has appeared on the Japanese site for Persona 5. This countdown seems to end May 5th. Last time they did a countdown, we got a trailer. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Considering
we get a
all we've
release
seen of the game is a trailer, and a trailer that you could only get if you bought the Japanese version of Persona 4 Dancing All Night. This is like the only press this game gets.
date. Yeah.
So this might be the release date countdown.
I hope so.
That would be
Hopefully,
awesome.
hopefully it's just the release countdown.
I've been waiting to put these up for so long. I was like, just give me some
Waiting
Persona.
for a reason to do it.
Give me some Persona news, damn it. And we finally got it. Proud of those things.
You're an idiot.
I am. So what do we think this is? Do we think this is the release date?
I think, yeah.
I
Release
hope
date
so.
for sure.
That's all I want.
So word out on the street is that they're scared of Final Fantasy 15.
I'm sure they are.
And it may not come out here because of Final Fantasy 15.
I could see that.
Guess I'm taking a trip.
Just get the Japanese. I mean, if there is some sort of like Asian English subtitled version, I will totally get it.
Absolutely.
The day of, I'll miss that. But I don't think they have anything to be scared of as long as they don't come out like the same month.
Yeah.
I think this game's going to do really, really well, and I do think that this is going to be a new trailer introducing a new character. We kind of have we don't have a big group for this game.
Like 3?
Yeah, we have a main character, a chick, the guy, and a cat.
I forgot about the other guy.
And then there's some other guy that I forget his name who's a painter who's like in it briefly. He's clearly going to be a party member, but they haven't talked about him.
Yeah.
So I'd expect a new trailer. I would love, I know it's the Japanese site, so we won't get it, but I'd love the English voice acting in the trailer. That'd be great. But yeah, I think this is the release date, and I'm very excited.
I hope so.
Be sweet.
Something else that they shouldn't be worried about because it's their game, but Tokyo Mirage put out a gameplay video at PAX
PAX
this weekend. You could go play it. They had playable versions, and there was a 20-minute gameplay demo online, and I watched it. That game is Persona to a T.
Really?
The dungeon
I thought
crawling.
that game looked awesome. Is
the-
that what
Yeah.
Persona's like?
Yeah,
Okay.
the dungeon crawling, like you run around, you have a sword, you hit shadows, it engages in battle,
Yeah.
and it seems like your personas are Fire Emblem characters.
Oh yeah, I want that.
Yeah, the game
Yeah.
looks awesome.
I'm so that game actually jumped
it's really
for
pretty
me
too.
to my second most anticipated game in June.
I mean, it's just a crossover to my favorite franchises. So
Also, something somebody pointed out was it's Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and backwards it's SMT, which is Shin Megami Tensei, which is who makes Persona.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, that's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, I was like, that's clever.
that's something.
So hopefully we get some news on the American stuff, but I'm interested in the Japanese release all the same.
I'll take any news. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems stupid to release them separately though, to me.
Yeah. I don't know why they would do that.
I mean, Final Fantasy 15 isn't even doing that, so I don't know why you do that.
I mean, they've been developing that game for like a decade. So.
That's true. Some sad news for me. Amazon's now selling games exclusively to Prime members. Games seem to be some of their best sellers. Grand Theft Auto 5's on the list. Bayonetta 2's on the list. These are big games, and now you have to be a Prime member to be able to buy the games from Amazon. They just recently introduced an $11 Amazon Prime thing that you can do like a monthly instead of a yearly.
Yeah.
And it seems really odd. You can still buy them from third parties, but you can't buy it from Amazon itself. I don't understand the benefit of this.
Yeah, I don't know why they would do that, especially if there's still other sites you can buy the games from.
Especially because, yeah, you can still buy them from other sites, and if you have like Best Buy's thing, you get the same discount that they do.
Yeah.
So I don't like if they were the only one doing the discount. Sure, because if you bought the Prime for a month and the game, you'd get the discount on the game, and it would still be
make
cheaper
your money back. Yeah.
than other places.
Yeah.
This just locks people out of buying your
Games
game
from them. Yeah.
and I don't
I mean,
understand.
I don't know why they did this. I'm already a Prime member, so I don't really give
Yeah, I
a
already
shit,
have
but-
Prime. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm not. And I buy games from them only if typically what I do is I pre-order from them
Yeah.
and then I cancel it because I got the pre-order somewhere else. But their pre-orders always go up first and they don't charge you until the day of, whereas other places charge you right away. So their pre-orders always go so fast because they don't charge you right away. So like even Project Morpheus or PlayStation VR, when that goes up, I'm like, oh, gotta buy this, and I put it in my cart. Whatever, I check out, I have the pre-order saved, and then it goes up somewhere else. I buy it there, and then I cancel my Amazon one, like because I don't have Prime. I'm not gonna get it the day of, and that's not cool.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand this move. Is this just does this incentivize anybody to buy Prime when they click a game and it says you have to be a Prime member to buy this? I get mad when
Not
I
really.
like sometimes I'm ordering and I'm trying to get the free shipping and like I'm $1 off, so I'm like, shampoo, sure, I'll buy a bottle of shampoo. And I click it and it's like, this is only available to
Yeah.
Prime members. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I just want a bottle of shampoo. This is miserable. So kind of a strange move.
I think it's a shitty move.
That's odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't make
If
a
I
lot of
saw it, I'd
sense.
be like, oh, fuck you, going to buy
They-
the game somewhere else.
They also didn't announce it. They just did it
just-
overnight.
just
Nah,
kinda
that's
snuck
really
it out.
shitty. Yeah, that's weird.
Like, why would I buy games from you? I'll just go somewhere else. Best Buy has a
I mean, they
website.
did that. They did that. They've raised the amount the Prime was every year, like 3 years ago. And they did this.
It was recently.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was last year, maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think
now.
it might have been a year and a half ago-ish. Yeah.
Okay.
I forget.
'Cause
It's
used to be
100.
80. It used to be 80. Now it's 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just like snuck it in though.
It was
just,
like near the end of the year too. They're
yeah,
like,
it's
oh, by
just
the
like-
way,
They didn't like say anything.
It was
just
when
100.
everybody renews.
It was just like $100.
it was like right
And
after.
people were
Christmas.
like, "What the fuck is this?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we did that."
oh yeah, we made a change.
We talking
Deal
about
with it.
$100? Yep. So Amazon, cool company.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing well. So
They're
They
definitely
got that
doing well.
sweet TV show happening here soon.
which one?
It's an Amazon exclusive TV show.
Yeah, no, which
I don't know
one?
what
I
it's
mean,
called.
they've had
Some animated.
exclusive TV shows, haven't they?
I see it
Yeah.
advertised on Twitch all the time. I don't know what it is. It's got Jesse Eisenberg in it.
That sounds awful.
I agree.
In a TV show?
Yeah.
It must be an expensive TV show.
It looks expensive.
I was surprised they got him for the commercial for Batman Superman, that like flight one, the
Mhm.
Turkish
Yeah, yeah.
Airlines. I was surprised he did that. Him and Ben Affleck, whatever. Some fun news. Rocket League getting another update. This one's awesome. It's Rocket League Hoops.
This sounds sweet.
You can play basketball.
That's awesome.
They
This game
showed
was already awesome.
yeah, this game
Just
just
gets
keeps
better.
getting better and
It does,
better.
Yeah.
It's
cool.
so good. The trailer for it's up. It comes out April 26th, so real soon. The trailer was awesome too. They were doing all these crazy like saves, like the ball was about to fall in, it was on the rim, and people would like jump up through the hoop and knock
Yeah.
it away.
Yeah, that's
Sick.
goaltending. It's illegal.
But it's not illegal. in
Is it
Rocket
illegal
Hoops.
if you do it with a car?
Then it's real illegal.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm gonna play
It'd
it.
be cool if it was just called Rocket Hoops.
Rocky. Yeah, that probably wouldn't be good for advertising purposes.
whatever.
Yeah.
They did this before with hockey. They had a hockey variant. I don't know if it's still available or if they only do it during certain seasons, like whatever.
Now would be a good time since hockey's in the playoffs. So
Hockey is playoffs.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. All right.
Anyway, so cool. I'm excited. I'll play it. 360 manufacturing has ended officially. It's been 10 years, I think, since the 360 came out. So that's what Sony did with their PS2, and that's kind of their console life guarantee, is it'll last for 10 years, except for this generation, which is about to get screwed. But
it'll be fine.
it seems like 10 years is the console life of something. 360 was good.
I enjoyed it.
I was thinking back
Yeah.
on it. Some real good games.
Played the shit out of this console.
Some real good like improvements, just internet and everything.
Just all the online functionality.
Party like connectivity was really sweet in this
Just
game.
buying games online and being able to download them and play
It was
them.
the first marketplace I really
It was
got
the
into.
best like Xbox processing system, I think.
I think, and it, like,
After it got updated from the Blade, you remember the old school Blades?
I love the
Yeah,
Blades.
that was-
They were neat, but they didn't work for the big marketplace very well.
No.
That's why they changed it. But they were neat.
And then the Windows 8, Windows 10 thing on the Xbox
I
One
hate
was
it now.
fucking miserable.
Part of the reason I don't have one.
I like the Blades.
Yeah, the
I
Blades
wish
were
they
cool.
go back
They
to
look
that.
cool.
They worked well until the
The
marketplace
PlayStation
got too
one's
big.
like, if you've never used a PlayStation one, it's confusing too.
Yeah, I've heard that. Like, I picked up on it really fast.
Yeah.
But some people hate the
Oh,
way
I
that
hated it.
you describe. I mean, it's obvious to me. Like,
It makes sense
Go
once you
across
use it
and
once.
there's music
it's
and
just
there's
weird.
games
It
and
was weird,
stuff.
like going from like a PC.
It's very
like-
different.
Like PC to the Xbox wasn't that weird. It just just felt clunky on the Xbox. But
Mhm.
going from like both of those to like a PlayStation, I was like, this feels.
Yeah, the first
real
time
weird.
I saw PS3's menu, I was like, what the hell's going
Yeah,
on?
the
Yeah,
PS3
it seems like
menu-
a handheld menu,
It does.
honestly.
Yeah.
It's,
Feels like a
I
V-
mean, it is the same as the PSP
Feels like
menu.
the Vita menu
Yeah.
almost.
Well, the
I-
Vita
except
menu is
Just
just bubbles.
Yeah.
So, what are some of our favorite things about the 360? What are some of our favorite
the
games?
controller.
That's true. That's
I
a
love
huge
that
one.
controller.
That's
Best controller ever.
probably the most popular controller.
It was
I still
awesome.
use my 360
Yeah.
controller, so.
Yeah, I talked about how I don't like it, but I respect how many people do.
Yeah, but you're an idiot, so,
That's also true.
Yeah.
Not arguing any of these points.
The game I played the most on this was probably like Halo 3. But this shit is me.
Game I played the most of.
Either Halo 2 or 3. I played a lot of those.
Mine would be Call of Duty 4. I played so much Call of Duty 4.
Played that, a lot of
That's
that too. That's fair. Yeah, played a
Like-
lot of COD 4.
The thing is, I had a 360 before my PS3, like many people.
Yeah.
And that's when gaming totally changed that generation for me for what I wanted out of it. That's when I did just play like for fun. I played Call of Duty every night. I played the wrestling games, whatever the SmackDown versus Raw games. I played Rock Band and Guitar
Oh, yeah.
Hero. Like that was gaming to me, just fun, whatever, play online, good times. And then I got my PlayStation 3, and that's where it changed. And I was like, oh, I want stories out of games and
Then the
experiences.
fun ended.
Yeah, the fun, no more fun. I want real sad stories. But yeah,
I kill myself after every game. I play.
Absolutely.
so 360 was where my fun went to die, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the last time I really enjoyed playing just online multiplayer and had a blast with it. 'Cause
See,
I
the
don't
360
I don't
is
get
where
that
I
anymore.
got into,
except
like-
for like Splatoon.
I got into like a lot of like RPGs, and it's like Dragon Age, Fable 2. Like I really got into those games.
Mhm.
Fallout 3.
Yeah, it was on 360.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's where the Mass Effects I first found.
Mm-hmm.
that's true. That was a huge
And,
exclusive.
That Rapture thing.
A
There.
lot of RPGs on this.
Alan
Good
Wake, yeah,
ones.
Bioshock.
The original Bioshock.
Bioshock, it's best. I mean, it's not an exclusive.
Dead Space.
It used to be, but it's not anymore.
Right. I was gonna say it's best exclusive, but it's not exclusive anymore. Was my
Because I think mine still has the only on Xbox tag on it 'cause it's like a release day one.
it's a
Mhm.
collector's item.
Oh yeah.
Nobody cares.
I do.
I'm pretty sure you could buy it for like $2.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
in a store. So, what were some things that we didn't like about their 360? The red ring. I'm gonna
The,
go ahead and
I never had
The
a Red
crashing, the red rings. Yeah.
that was the reason I got my PS3. I guess I never told this story on here. So, I called them because my console was messed up. It wasn't
Yeah.
red ringing. It was
Right.
messed up. The video card messed up, and I was like, "Hey, this doesn't work."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Is it red ringing?" And I said, "No." And they're like, "Okay, we can't give you a replacement or do any sort of refurbish thing because it's not red ringing. We don't cover video card, whatever."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, sure." So my mission was to red ring my console. I spent a good week trying to red ring this thing because my warranty was going to run out on
Yeah.
the red ring part of it because it lasted longer.
Yeah, they extended it like a year, I think.
So like I was wrapping it in blankets, trying to like overheat the thing.
I did that.
I was trying to do all this stuff to get it to red ring, and I looked online, and a lot of people said that if you can like mess up the motherboard, you also can't open it. That's the
Yeah.
other thing because
Yeah.
you avoid the warranty.
Did that too.
So I was like, how am I going to do this? So what I ended up doing, I would put it in the freezer
Yeah.
and then take it out and use a hairdryer on
I
it
put it
to
in the
try and crack
refrigerator.
it,
Yeah.
and then put it in the freezer. And I kept doing that. That wasn't working. And what finally got it to work, and I got my
By work, you mean red ring?
it finally got it to not work. I put it in the bathtub, and then pulled it out and plugged it in and just
Oh,
surged
God.
it. And I got the red ring, and I let it sit for a little bit. And I turned it back on like the next day, and it was still red ringed. And I was like, I did it. So I called them. I was like, hey, my console's red ringed. They're like, all right, we'll send it a coffin. I was like, sweet.
There you go.
Put it in the coffin, sent it away. And then I got a PlayStation 3, I think, like a few days later.
Yeah,
Just
because it took a couple weeks to get it
Mhm.
back.
I got a PlayStation 3, and then that was really where I played Metal Gear 4 and Uncharted and Infamous. And I was like, oh, I like the single player thing. But yeah, that was my red ring story that I.
See, I did that to fix mine. Mine had like a solder reflow issue, so I wrapped it in towels and it fixed it.
A lot of people have
I
done
never
that.
got the red ring, but
See,
I
I had-
saw my buddy spill a glass of milk on his, and it caught on fire and literally blew up. Like pieces of the Xbox were
Your story's
everywhere.
better than mine.
We're just playing, and I'm like, I like accidentally trip. I don't accidentally trip him, but I trip him, and he like falls into his chest drawer and like spills a glass of milk, and it lands in the Xbox, and it goes, and catches on fire like instantly, and just blows up.
That's awesome.
That's
it was real
impressive.
sweet.
That's awesome.
My favorite part is Todd's like, I accidentally trip up.
I
trip
didn't
up.
We fucked this guy up, but
You messed up your Xbox by like falling asleep and getting food in it.
oh
and
god, I left a granola. This is my Xbox One. I leave a granola bar. It's like a half-eaten granola bar right next to my Xbox. Wake up the next morning, start my Xbox up in here, and I'm like, what is going on? I look over and there's a bunch of ants all over my Xbox. I'm like, man, this is fucking weird. Where all the ants come from? And they're on the granola bar. I take my disc out and it's just covered in dead ants. We're
That's
talking
so
ant
gross.
genocide, all right? And then I'm like, fuck me. So I get like a Q-tip and I like sponge it in there, and there's just a fuck ton of ants on the Q-tip. Like they just made a home in there. Don't know why. Took it back to Best Buy.
Free food.
They weren't gonna fix it. Took it somewhere else. They don't deal with insects.
Just clean it out and don't tell them that
I
part.
tried to clean it out. You can't like open the Xbox one.
Oh, I bet I
Like,
can open
I
it.
can't get in the disk drive.
Oh, I can
so
open
now
it.
I just buy games digitally.
Oh yeah, because it's not a tray anymore. It sucks it in. I hate that because my
Yeah, I
PS
think that's a bad
my
design.
PS3 fat broke and the disc was stuck in it and it broke. I couldn't like power it on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, now I gotta rip the thing apart to get my disc
Yeah.
out. And that's part of the reason I got the PS3 Slim, like the third one,
Yeah.
is because it's got a mechanical tray. And I'm like, well, if it ever breaks, I can just go bloop and take my disc out. They're
Yeah.
really-
So
I
the
do.
reason they stopped in the mechanical trays is just like the trays break a lot, but those are super cheap and easy to replace. I don't
Yeah,
know
they're
why
really
they
easy to
fucking
replace.
changes it
The
around.
360 trays are easy. I did like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, they
Even
broke all
like-
the time, but there's like $5 or $10 to get the new part.
Yeah.
So cheap.
As opposed to ripping apart your thing and voiding the warranty.
Buying a new console.
Well, I mean, you void the warranty if you open the 360 to do the tray. So there's a sticker that tells you that.
Hey, you got to do the hair dryer, and
Yeah, if you peel it correctly, but
Yeah.
we're not getting into that.
that's too much work. Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other memories I had with the game that weren't just online. I have so many just online memories.
I played a lot of that
with that
console
game.
online. That and Rock Band. I played a lot of Rock Band.
COD 4, I kind of forgot about that game. I probably put like 200 hours into that game.
Yeah, I put so
I
much
have
time.
500 or 600 songs for Rock Band 3 on my Xbox.
Jesus Christ.
game
That was
awesome.
true.
That
That
game's
was an
awesome.
awesome like party system too.
Yeah, it was great.
That game was sweet.
Mainly because of Rock Band and Guitar Hero, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great
that
console.
and the Halos.
Rest in peace. If you want one, you should probably go buy one, or you're gonna have to get it
I still have, I
secondhand.
already have 2.
I'm talking to them.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, I have two.
If
too.
you want one, you probably should go buy one.
If you want 2, you're just boned.
Yeah, you're out of luck.
Exponed.
I don't get it.
Okay.
Yeah, what?
So we're gonna try something new. This isn't going to be an official new segment yet. If we come up with a good name, we need a name for the segment.
I'd suggest it.
I have one. Nobody likes.
Yeah, your names are awful. We need a good name for the segment. So basically, what we're gonna do is instead of talking about leaks as news stories back to back, like keep doing that, I just have them all listed here. I'm going to say the rumor or the leak, and then we'll go Todd, Kellen, me, and just say quickly. Not you don't have to rush, but just express how you feel about it, and then if you think it's true or false, do you think this is valid or invalid, whatever you want to say.
Whatever we're gonna call this.
Yeah, we
segment.
don't know what to call the segment. Valid or invalid's a terrible segment name. So, but yeah, this is what we're gonna try and see how it goes.
All right.
Okay. First one. Rumor states that one of Sony's first-party studios is working on a Spider-Man PS4 game. So this would be one of their actual, Sony Japan, Sony Bend, one of their in-house studios is working on a Spider-Man PS4 game. It's also important to note that Sony Pictures owns Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They're the one just doing this Marvel deal that Iron Man's in the movie now, and I don't want to say it. So do we think that they are working on a Spider-Man game?
Yes.
That's it, isn't it?
No.
thoughts on
I mean, it makes sense. There hasn't been like a huge like superhero game in a while. So I think, there's like a market to get here, especially since they're doing the movie as well. So I could definitely see it. Spider-Man's a sweet one too. I mean, that could sell.
Yeah, I mean, you just do open world New York, and yeah, I think this is legit. If it's not, it should be. It makes sense. There's a big market for it, so
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I don't actually think this is happening, but I see where this could come from. Spider-Man 2, I believe the game was actually, people really liked that
it's okay,
game.
yeah.
Cool. And it does make sense, especially because they're doing like the Ratchet and Clank thing with a Ratchet game, and that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Spider-Man Homecoming and a Spider-Man Homecoming game. Like, that makes sense to me. I feel like, I'm not sure, but do we know when the Spider-Man movie is?
I haven't heard. I'm not sure though.
Because I just feel like it seems sudden if that's their game plan, because even that Marvel deal and stuff where people got re-excited for Spider-Man and everything happened pretty recently. It wasn't
It
like...
hadn't been that long since I got announced.
Yeah, making a game takes longer than doing the movie if these dates that we've been hearing for movies are all going to happen. So... I don't think that this one's going to happen, but I wouldn't mind if it did. And I don't know what studio would do it. That's the other thing. Like, we either know what they're doing, or I can't see them doing a Spider-Man game. That's kind of my thoughts on it. Trusted insider Shinobi has stated Sony Bend has a new game. Did I not put what it is? I can check really quick.
What would this be? Is it just like...
So... I think it's a zombie game.
It sounds like a zombie game.
Dead Don't Ride.
Which makes me not
Dead
want
Don't Ride?
Dead Don't Ride.
Yeah, that sounds like a game.
It sounds like a game. See, to me, if anything, it sounds like a small thing. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Sony does a lot of small projects, but apparently that URL has been owned for like 2 years, so I feel like that would be a really early thing, but it kind of reminds me of like Killstrain. Killstrain was a smaller title that...
Yeah, but I don't want any more zombie games,
So this is Dead Scavenge, We Survive, Don't Fear Them, Metal and Bikes We Drive, Ride, Don't Run, The Apocalypse is Good Fun, Dead Don't Ride. So it's like it seems like a zombie game.
Survival horror game with
It seems like a zombie game where like you're a zombie and it's like fun. Like the world's taken over by zombies and you control a zombie and everybody's a zombie and you're like doing
just
whatever.
screwing around
That's
as a
what I
zombie.
would guess the game is.
That'd be cool.
That's fine.
You just read that and I instantly thought of Mad Max, but with like zombies.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. I'd play that game.
Yeah.
An Arkham collection has been spotted by Eurogamer. It will be for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. It contains Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Arkham Origins is notably absent. Do we think that this is true?
I could definitely see something like this. I mean, they're a popular game series. I'm sure people want to get into this game, and I could see this like selling on it. So I don't see it being false.
Mm-hmm.
Like it definitely seems plausible.
I mean, it makes sense for them to put them all in one collection. $60. Here you go. Here's all three or two of them, however many.
So, yeah. So my thing is, there's only 2 of them in this. Arkham Knight is not in it.
Yeah.
And I feel like this would have made sense before Arkham Knight. I don't know why that didn't happen. But the thing that actually like sells it for me, that makes me believe it, is that Arkham Origins isn't included.
Yeah.
They hate that game. Like, they refuse to admit that game exists because I think their Montreal studio did it and not Rocksteady, the main studio.
Yeah.
So, like, Rocksteady, they call it the Rocksteady trilogy. Like, that's what they call it. And they totally ignore Origins and they won't make any sort of...
That's funny.
They just don't acknowledge it.
Yeah. Like, even when they get on stage, they're just like, yeah, the Rocksteady trilogy. Like, they don't, acknowledge it at all. And since it is specifically not in this, I think that is something that they would do. Stupid. But something that they would do.
Funny, but
It reminds me of like Uncharted, how they left out Golden Abyss on the Nathan Drake collection.
Yeah.
Because that's not Naughty Dog's game. Like, Naughty Dog did the...
It's not theirs. Why would they sell it or promote it? So
Yeah, like, they don't have their minds behind that game. That's just not something they worked on. So.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I think we all think this one's true. More leaks about the PS4 4K have been revealed. It is officially called Project Neo. A play off the Matrix because of Project Morpheus for the VR headset. I want to know what Project Trinity is. All the games will be required to have a base mode and a Neo mode from October forward. Many devs have taken to Twitter saying how horrible this has been, and notably BioWare called it idiotic and said that this is the opposite of why they develop for consoles.
Yeah.
So PS4K, the Neo.
Oh, I think it's happening, and I think it's a fucking mistake.
Yeah, this seems real and stupid.
Yeah.
Real stupid. So, there you go.
Yep, I agree. We've talked about it ad nauseum. Just every episode, there's always new news. But I just want to say, yeah,
New news.
new news.
Like the League of Legends champion?
Yes.
I love Nunu.
Yeah.
The thing for me about this that I've noticed is, yeah, there was a big Twitter thing where a lot of devs were like, yeah, this thing exists. So that's why, I know it's true. But like, they were complaining, and now the thing is, you have to have a Neo mode. And some of the documentation rumors were you can't have exclusives for the Neo. That's the
just
big
got to be
thing.
like
Yeah.
upgrades.
No exclusive games. You have to have a higher frame rate or increased graphics in some way.
Wasn't it like a 60 frame minimum and a couple other things?
I don't know if they had a minimum, but they like definitely listed frame rate as one of the pluses, and then obviously the graphics. And I go into this every time. I don't understand who this is for.
Not for me.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
I really don't get it.
And now developers have to either like make a base game and then upgrade it and add in random stuff for a market that may not be there, or they develop their game for the upscaled one and then they have to like downgrade it to the next one. And I just
Downgrading it is always a mistake.
I just
Yeah, you
don't
always lose something you're used to.
see. And like I said before, the second something works on the Neo and doesn't work on the other one, example, Hyrule Warriors on the 3DS does not work.
Yeah, we were curious if that would work when we were talking about it.
It doesn't work at all. It has like a frame rate of 12. It's awful. But on the
Nice.
new 3DS, it semi-works. It's still
Like
not great.
18.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's playable on the new 3DS. It might as well be an exclusive, and all that splitting the market. I don't know why anybody would develop for the thing that just came out in October, or that's kind of the rumored
Supposedly
time,
coming out in
Yeah.
October.
when they could develop for the PS4 that has 40 million users. There's 40 million PS4s. Why would you develop a game for this new thing? It just doesn't make any sense. And it's required by Sony
Yeah.
to do it. That's why the devs are so mad.
It's like, oh, yeah.
So,
I guess the X one will get a little more popular.
yeah. Well, the other thing is, GameStop. I guess we talked about it. They said that there's three. Oh no, it was AMD.
Yeah.
AMD said that they're working on different cards or whatever for 3 new consoles, and one of them's coming out this year. So there's a new Xbox, it seems like.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So it seems like we're either going to get an Xbox and a half, or Xbox is putting out their next
Xbox
generation.
1.5 or whatever.
And the Xbox One 2. That's
Seems
what you got to
real
call
fast.
Xbox 12.
it. Xbox One 2.
It seems really fast.
Yeah, like we were just talking about the 360 and the 10-year thing.
Yeah.
And like this is just...
I feel like the Xbox One just came out.
It did. It was like two years old.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't even got one yet, so.
Yeah, like...
It's crazy.
It is crazy. So we'll see how this goes. I'm sure they're going to reveal it at E3. I think they would be smart.
There's just so many game releases set for the Xbox One. It's so weird to have a new console coming out.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. They might be doing an Xbox 0.5 like PlayStation's doing. Or it could just be an Xbox Slim. Like
It could just be,
I'd be cool
it could
with
just
that.
be
We don't know.
another Elite, like
Yeah.
the 360
yeah,
Elite.
like we don't know.
Yeah.
But I think PlayStation specifically should announce their thing before E3, because I think it's going to be disastrous. And then if they have a good E3 thing, people might be like, "Oh, okay." But the thing is, there are like no exclusives for this. You're not allowed to make exclusives. Your exclusive is that your games run better and
Yeah,
they
it runs
look
better.
better. That's
Yeah.
exclusive. Like that's what that means.
I think this is almost geared toward VR. Like it'll run VR better. It'll be more optimized for VR, I guess.
So on that document, it didn't specifically say it, but there was no mention that it would help VR at all. That's like one of the things that people were like, oh, that's a little odd. But like I said, rumors, we don't know. We'll have to see. But I think it would be smart that they get in front of the hate, just come out, announce it. Do not say there's no exclusive stuff and then say that you get exclusive 60 frames a second games. That'll make people mad.
Yeah.
But just announce it before.
I feel like having like a system that
then to have
does
an awesome
things
ether.
better just ruins like multiplayer.
Yep.
Like,
The thing
I'm
is,
playing Battleborns with 60 more frames per second, I'm just gonna wreck kids.
60 more?
jeez, if you would think devs would be smart and be like, okay, multiplayer is locked at this, like they do for other things, even if you have this other one. But still, if you have, like, they'd have to de-optimize. I don't know. It just seems weird.
It seems shitty.
Yeah, it doesn't seem good.
I don't know. I run League at like 400 frames a second, so okay.
Jesus Christ.
You don't?
No, I don't. Might be 20.
I barely know what that means.
Whenever League starts, I run at like 400 or 500 a second. It's nice.
That's crazy.
The game's real pretty.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that took way longer than I wanted it to, but sure. So we need a title for this. So if you can think of one.
Oh, I did.
If you can think of a good one,
Oh.
let us know. Let's move on to our thumbnail topic. This is, I guess, news, if you want to call it that. I don't know. This Arthur Guys reviewer, I don't know if that's his name, but he's a reviewer for Polygon. He wrote an article about Star Fox Zero, not a review, an article. And in it, he talked about how bad the controls for this game were. He was saying that the game was completely unenjoyable because of the way the controls worked. Basically, when you control it, you have to like look at the screen, use the analog stick to move, but then you're looking around to shoot things with the gamepad. I haven't heard anybody that liked it, and it's not optional. You have to use that controls.
Sounds like a really hard way to control a ship.
Yeah, so he said, I didn't beat the game because I can't stand the way that this controls. Polygon has a rule that if you have not beaten the game, you cannot put out a review. So they said, we're not reviewing Star Fox Zero.
Have somebody else do it.
Outsource it.
Yeah.
Beat the game because it's your job. That's literally what you get paid to do. Beat the game.
Beat the game and then give it a terrible score because you didn't like it.
Right.
There you go.
That's the problem with doing this, just being like, oh, we're not reviewing it. Well, that's sketchy.
You don't have one guy that does reviews? Find somebody else.
I mean, yeah, but it's sketchy just because, like, do you not want to give it a bad score? Like, is that what's happening?
That's kind of what it feels like, actually.
It is what it feels like. Like, if you're going to tank its Metacritic, because Metacritic, I don't know if you know how it works, it's weighted. So, like, IGN gets way more pull than, like, Polygon gets way more pull than this small guy, whatever. So, those are just worth more. So, if you are a big company and you put in a low score, you're going to hurt them a lot more than small companies doing it.
Yeah.
And, Polygon's a big company, so I'm sure they have a high, like, percentage in the way Metacritic works. Like, are you protecting the game? Because even if you're not, that's what it looks like.
It's kind of what it feels like. You're afraid to score it low because, I don't know why you wouldn't want to.
Right, yeah. Just, like, I guess you could say it's Polygon's fault because they, like, you have to beat the game. That's, like, one of their requirements. So I want to talk about that. Do you think you have to beat the game to know if it's a good game?
No. So do they play through all these 200-hour plus games before they come out and review them? Like, that seems kind of an odd decision.
Yeah, like,
an odd requirement.
If I'm playing a game and I don't want to play it anymore because it's shitty, I don't want to play it anymore because it's shitty.
You play a little bit more to figure out why it's shitty, and then you review it.
Yeah, I feel like
this is almost a review.
It sounds like a review.
Yeah, it's almost like there should be a score, and
I feel like if I opened a Game Informer and then in big red text it said, I didn't want to play this game because the controls sucked.
The controls are so bad,
what
I
a
didn't
review.
finish it.
I think he said he played 2 hours of it or something like that.
That's enough to give a review.
Of a game that's just
literally the storyline's like 8 hours long, maybe.
Did he play the tower defense game though?
Because that game.
I don't know.
That game looks.
I haven't looked up any sort of reviews for that. But yeah, the big thing about Star Fox is people are not liking the controls.
Oh, I've heard they're terrible. Bad enough that I didn't buy it. So
yeah, its reviews aren't like awful.
Yeah.
They're kind of like mid thing. And like I said before, Nintendo's had a lot of misses in the past like 2 years. They're one of the lowest ranked developers, which is crazy.
How do you screw up Star Fox though?
By shoehorning in
controls.
These controls. And the thing is, it was worked on with Platinum too. He's done like some great stuff. And I don't know. I feel bad because I feel like Star Fox is a great thing for the Wii U. Like, that's a great place for it. And why wouldn't they just make the motion controls optional? That's all you have to do. Just let you use the right stick and aim.
Was it Bayonetta that had motion controls you could turn on and off? There's one where that's optional. And
Splatoon.
Splatoon,
has
that's it.
optional
that's
motion
it.
controls.
It just works better one way or without them.
Yeah, well, a lot of people actually like the motion controls in that game because it is more precise, but it takes some getting used to. But I don't like them. Guess what? Shut them off.
Yeah,
I have no complaints.
Play it like a normal shooter.
I'm having fun. Sure, some people, it's like the mouse thing. Yeah, some people can turn faster than me because they're using the motion controls. I don't care.
That's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
You learn something new, so you get an advantage. Good job.
Yeah, so I just feel like they should have outsourced this, or at the very least, like, don't put out this article. Like, just be like, due to complications,
like we didn't review it.
Due to complications, we're not reviewing the game. Like, it's almost like they just wanted the attention, and we're giving it to them, I guess.
It's like they wanted to shit on it, but they didn't want to put a score next to the shit they put on. I don't know.
So now people are accusing them of, oh, you're in Nintendo's pocket, and they're the reason, blah, 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 blah. And, yeah, like, probably not. But this just looks sketchy.
Yeah.
I don't know why you do that. So.
It is an odd decision. Although now I want to play this game. Let's see how bad it is.
I don't. Have fun.
I'm kind of curious. Not enough to buy it, but...
Okay, let's move on to viewer question. And if you want to be part of the show, you can leave your question down below. And we may answer it on the next one. Or the one after that. Or whenever we get to it. I don't know. So I like this question. I think this might have been something that you said you were interested in answering, but I'm not sure. With games like Tomb Raider, Ratchet & Clank, Final Fantasy VII being remade, what are some other games we would like to see being remade, and what changes would we want done to them?
See, I think we talked about this a long time ago.
It's
like maybe in the
possible.
first 2 or 3 episodes.
It's quite possible.
But I immediately go to, I want an HD KOTOR collection. That's all I want. KOTOR 1 and 2 in HD.
Now, do you want this you just want like an up-res like the Final Fantasy X thing, or do you want like a remake? Like
I do
Final
not want
Fantasy
anything changed.
VII is a remake.
Yeah,
I do not
it
want
is
that.
A remake. I would like a remake of Jade Empire.
Just completely.
Just a complete remake.
If they
You guys are
up-res
the
that
worst
game,
with your BioWare.
Same
love
storyline, just a remake.
that's all I want for the KOTORs. Just up-res them. You don't have to change anything. Maybe you add a couple hours somewhere. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Dark Cloud was always one that I wanted.
Yeah.
But like in the same breath, the problem with that is like I can take a Dark Cloud 3, and that's fine with me. I don't need you to redo the first ones.
I guess I can see that. I'd be cool with like a Jade Empire 2 as well.
Mm-hmm. Like that's kind of a difference. Like, what ones would you actually want remade?
I'm
like,
actually like not a
rebooted?
huge fan of remakes. Like, I don't know.
I
The
think
Ratchet and Clank one was sweet.
The Ratchet
Yeah,
and
Tomb
Clank was
Raider
great.
was awesome.
Yeah.
See, I'm not a big fan of the Tomb Raider games. But
Tomb Raider was awesome.
It was fine.
yeah.
I love the Ratchet and Clank remake.
I think Final Fantasy is kind of silly.
Yeah, I was excited for that until I saw the gameplay. I was like, oh, I want it
Yeah.
turn-based.
Yeah.
Oh, really? See, I'm super excited for this.
I want it
I
turn-based.
like the turn-based.
Yeah, my thing is like it exists. You can play the turn-based one.
I know. That's what I'm
And we're
do.
going to talk about that later. Like, that turn-based stuff, it still sells well. Like, it plays exactly the same. It doesn't age poorly, I guess is my point. The graphics age poorly, all that stuff.
Yeah,
but the
that's fine.
gameplay of that turn-based stuff never ages poorly. It's kind of like a side-scroller.
Yeah.
But I'm
There's
getting
not
ahead
a
of
lot of difference.
I'm getting ahead of ourselves into the unpopular opinion here.
We'll come back to that.
Game I want remade, Crash Bandicoot.
Bandicoot.
That's what I want. I want
Okay.
Crash
Not a
Bandicoot.
big Crash fan.
Shut up.
You're the only one here.
I want Crash Bandicoot remade, even if they do 1, 2, and 3 put together into
On
one
one
game,
disc,
just in just the spirit of it. It doesn't have to be the same like beat for beat remake. I would love that. Also, the beat for beat remake that I would want with just like tighter controls and everything.
Mech Assault?
No, but that'd be fun.
Yeah, that's what I want also.
Sweet.
Mario 64.
Oh, really? You like Mario 64?
Yep. I want.
Jesus Christ.
I would take a beat for beat remake of Mario 64. They did it with the DS and they messed it up somehow. They got rid of the run. I don't know why it was on the DS. That was weird. Put that on the NX. I might buy your NX then.
For a 64 remake?
Like a beautiful 64 with just tighter
Leave
controls.
everything the
Mhm.
same pretty much. But
I think that'd be great.
Or maybe just make a good Mario game.
64 is great.
Sure it is. The worst Mario game, but... Alright, what's next?
I'm gonna stab this kid.
Game releases.
Gareth, not doing the game releases this week.
Terrible.
He's like buying a house or something.
Got a new house. Congratulations, Garrett.
Being
trying
a
to do 'em.
responsible adult.
Yeah,
Who wants to do that?
No one's got time to be a responsible adult.
I did that once. It was miserable.
So we don't have our cool little description. So
I know like one of these games.
yeah, I know 2 of them. But go ahead.
All right. April 25th, Corpse Party for the PC.
Good game. Buy it.
This isn't the same without the descriptions.
Well, then you can figure
This
something
is
out.
a horror game that was on the Vita, and it's coming to the 3DS apparently. And like many of the Vita exclusive games, it's coming over to the PC. Like another one that's on the list later
What is the
on.
next one?
Top-down horror game. It's got like a chibi style to it, but it's very dark.
Sweet.
Would it be hard to see though? H. Toll Nick the Firefly Diary for PC. All right. April 26th, Aliens vs. Pinball, Xbone 360, PS4, PC, and PS3.
Great name.
Aliens vs. Pinball.
It does have a sweet name. I love aliens. I like pinball. I like versus.
Probably not going to buy the games.
Alienation for the PS4.
Oh, that's a good one. That's Housemarque Games. They did Resogun. They did Dead Nation.
Never played any of those games.
They did Alienation.
That's because they're all PlayStation exclusives, probably.
You got me.
They're kind of like the Geometry Wars, like Bullet Hell style thing.
I love
this
Geometry
one's
Wars.
just Dead Nation
Not a big geometry fan.
in an alien world.
Done with you. Hearthstone, Whispers of the Old Gods.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's just another Hearthstone expansion.
Yeah, it is.
That's the one I know. Hitman Episode 2, April 26th.
I don't know anybody that owns that game.
Hitman?
Yeah, the new Hitman.
The episodic
It's
Hitman
pretty shitty.
thing. That's why we don't know anybody that owns it. Hyper Devotion Noir Goddess Blackheart for the PC.
Sounds cool.
That's a Hyperdimension game. It's one of the 7 or whatever that have come out.
I thought there were
And-
19 of these or something.
And it stars Blackheart, who's the best character on the
Cool name.
game and on the show. So.
Coming to PC. King's Quest Chapter 3, Once Upon a Climb, Xbone 360, PC, PlayStations, all that stuff.
Sounds bad.
Yeah, that's they gave out chapter 1 and 2, I believe, for free on PlayStation
Well,
Plus.
this is 3.
Yeah, 1 and 2 on PlayStation Plus. It's your PC point and click adventure remade type thing.
Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition, PC.
Sweet.
We know a lot of these. Yeah, definitive
I mean,
edition
I
of
have
Ori.
Ori. What's the definitive? What's different?
It's basically an expansion for it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it just adds more, and then if you have the game, I believe you get a discount, but don't quote me on that.
That's sweet.
I finally got that game. My good friend Nick gave me a code for it, but I still have not played it because I'm still waiting for my Xbox to show
Game
back
is
up.
fantastic.
The game's awesome.
Game is awesome.
Party Hard, Xbone, PS4.
You got me.
Rocket Birds 2 Evolution, PS4, Vita.
I should know. I don't know.
You're terrible. The Song of Tyrium, PC, Mac, Linux.
Finally a game for Linux.
We've been waiting.
It's on here every now and then. Where was I? Stranger of Sword City, Vita.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, you suck. You're supposed to know Vita games.
Yeah,
It's
man.
true.
There's
I'm
only been a
failing
couple
you.
more of those.
It's true.
It's almost dead. April 27th, Duelist for the PC. Emerge, Cities of the Apocalypse, PC. April 28th, Avalon Lords for the PC. Back in 1995 for the PC.
That's a
great
sweet
name.
title.
That is a sweet name.
That's one of the best names I've heard, actually.
Back in 1995. Lord Reavers for the Wii U. What's that?
That'll do well.
Yeah. Mini Mario and Friends for the Wii U and 3DS.
I think that might be the Amiibo game
Is it?
where you have to scan in. Yeah, you scan. It's basically Mario versus Donkey Kong, but if you scan in an Amiibo, you get that character, and everyone like some of them can double jump. Donkey Kong can run up inclines.
That's just cheap.
Sounds kind of cool. If you like
Uh,
amiibos.
If you have a bunch of Amiibos.
Still not interested.
Pool Nation VR for the Vive.
Oh, that's cool.
Off-World Trading Company for the PC. And that's all I got.
And there's a new Killer Instinct character coming by the end of this month.
What is it?
It's called Mira, and she's a vampire. Looks pretty sweet. Just got released on PAX East yesterday, I think. They
Oh, did
showed
it?
some gameplay of it. She looks awesome.
But you just play as the Arbiter and throw sticky grenades. That's all you
Yep,
do.
he's busted right now.
You just play as the Japanese chick and teleport.
The
She
grudge,
actually got nerfed.
the grudge
She's still,
chick.
she's still good though.
She still teleports.
She's
so that's
still
all that
good.
matters.
Yeah.
You push a button and she teleports. It's stupid.
All right, so let's move on to what we're playing. So Todd, you can go ahead and talk about your Killer Instinct.
All right, so I
Oh,
bought
God.
the Ultimate Edition of Killer Instinct, and been trying to figure it out. I was using the combo assist, and I was just button smashing my way through the game, which is fun. But the game's actually a lot more enjoyable when you turn this off.
No, it's not.
There's just so much you can do with every character. Every character is completely different. They're all balanced pretty well. It's just a really fun fighting game. I've had a blast with it.
I know how to shoot.
And the online community's been like really cool.
I know how to shoot the Arbiter's rifle and throw sticky grenades.
That's all you need.
That's all I need.
That's all you got.
Is that all you
Been
played?
playing a little bit more of the Division. Kind of just been doing like my dailies on this. Waiting for some new content to come out. I kind of feel bad for glitching through the other new content.
Oh yeah.
You did a month's worth of content in 2 days.
2 days. I almost have max gear score, so that's kind of rough.
Yikes.
Played a little bit more Sunset Overdrive. This game is really sweet. The party system's kind of shitty. It's been only playing with it so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not a multiplayer game.
No, it's not.
No.
I don't know. I guess I thought it was going into. I thought I was gonna have like this kind of Borderlands feel.
Oh no,
just
yeah, it's
parkouring
very
around
much like
playing
a
with
single
friends.
player, like open world thing, and then you
Mhm.
can do some stuff with
Yeah,
friends.
yeah.
Like mini games, basically.
I think that's all I've been playing. I tried to boot up Neverwinter the other day because it had a big new update.
How'd that go?
I started it up. I got on my character, and I just was instantly bored just looking at the game. So I got back off.
You're like, nope, done with this.
Yeah.
So I finished Ratchet and Clank.
How was it?
Did you like it?
It's real good. I like
Yeah,
that game.
Game's sweet. Ending's cool.
I'll probably do the challenge mode on it sometime soon.
Yeah, it seemed like there was a lot of like end game stuff to do. So that's kind of neat for a
Yeah,
game like that.
I've done some of it already, but I need to do more of that.
It's cool. There's a million weapons you can get, right?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch
fucking
of stuff.
weapons, Yeah.
I think the only one I still need to build is the one you have to collect the cards for. I can't remember what it's called right
The
now.
Rhino.
The Rhino, yeah. I finally got all the cards for it. I need to build it.
Nice.
Played more of the show because baseball.
Yeah.
Started
good.
started playing League of Legends again, which is probably a mistake. But
Game
that,
sucks you in, man.
that game's real fun to me still.
is.
So I guess because
My problem with like I love MOBAs, but like you play one 50-minute match and it doesn't feel like 50 minutes, and you play like 4 of those. And you're like, what the fuck happened to my night?
Exactly. That's why 2 hours after I asked Kevin
Yeah.
what we were doing, I was like, oh, I need to go.
Yeah. You just kind of get sucked into those.
Yeah, it's 1 in the morning
It
right
just
now.
kinda-
It is. Yeah, it sure is.
League just kind of sucks you in. You're like, I'll play a game. It's an hour later.
Yeah.
Damn
Yeah.
it.
Just that's about it. Played a little Division, the usual stuff.
I played Killer Instinct a little bit with Todd today.
Oh yeah,
Fun time.
Still fun. I enjoy that game.
Yeah.
that game is fun.
Game's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy it. I actually think if you have an Xbox, you should buy that game. I just play as the whatever Japanese chick that crawls around.
The Grudge. Yeah, you're
yeah,
the Grudge.
swipe
yeah.
my staff.
Hiroshuku or something like that, right?
Sure, man.
I don't know. I only
Um,
know the characters that are cool. So.
I
play
play
as
the
her.
Arbiter and Reptar. That's
I
it.
use
There
the
you
auto
go.
combo system because it makes the game way easier.
It does,
I
yeah.
don't know why you wouldn't use that.
I mean, I use it.
It makes it fun for it makes it so anybody can pick up and play the game, and you can have your good couch
Yeah, it's
co-op
cool.
or not
Yeah.
co-op, but couch competitive play.
It's a very like epic game. I get like really excited playing this game.
No, it's Double Helix. Epic is working on Paragon.
No, I'm saying it's a very epic.
Yikes.
All right, what else have you been playing, man?
Loud on Planet X. This was a game I talked about last week. I kickstarted it. I didn't love it. I was looking at the reviews for the game. It got mainly like 7s. I saw a couple like 9s, which there's always things like that.
Yeah.
And then I saw like not too many 5s. It sat around 7, and it's a music game, but it's also a tower defense game, which works. Except I don't like how you press your notes. So there's no like real indicator on when to press your notes.
Yeah.
The border of the screen gets a little pink when you're supposed to press it, but you really do need to know the beat of the song to be able to do it. So if you're playing a song that you've never heard before, it takes a little bit to get into it, and sometimes you get off by just like a millisecond, and then it's like wrong, and the aliens are coming, and you just keep messing up, and
So
you
you
get
just-
like frustrated at it.
You just don't like this game because you're bad at it.
It sounds like me playing Rock Band without a sync.
No, it's not because
Just
I'm
messing with you. Kevin.
no, it's not because I'm bad at it. I just like I beat all the songs that I
Yeah.
knew, and
Yeah.
they were fine. But I just don't like the way that it worked. I think it would have been better if they had something more like Rock Band, where you had a point and it's like
Have
boom,
the little highway.
and they have to align.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
and
like
then
a
You
little
hit it when
highway.
they align.
And then you hear like ding, 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 and you fell the song. It's a really sweet feature of that game.
I've never done that.
Never done that.
I know what you're talking about, but it's not that
No,
loud.
stop.
so-
It's pretty loud. It's really obnoxious, especially in the first game. It's like real obnoxious.
So yeah, I was a little disappointed with that game. I'm definitely going to go back and play it more. Also, I don't think this is a good PlayStation 4 game. It's going to come to Vita, but it's also on phone, and I think that might be where it's better, where you can just kind of tap to the beat on the lane. I'm not sure if that's how it works. I have one for the Android. I need
yeah.
to download it and try it
I
out.
also like the tower defense games are just like gold on the mobile. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. So I played that. I was like, whatever. I played more Battleborn beta until that ended. I put like another 6 or 7 hours into it. Really enjoying that game.
I
Buy it now because Mirror's Edge moved. I don't know. I'm
I
thinking about
downloaded it, got to play an hour of it, and
And
then
then
it went
it
off.
shut
I was
off,
like,
yeah.
huh, that was cool.
I played the Mirror's Edge beta. We talked about that already. I'm gonna play it more this weekend, and I'll have more of an impression on it next week. So I'm gonna kind of keep that. And then I wanted to play more Ratchet and Clank, and I was like, but I want to beat Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 before 4 because I haven't beat them since they came out. So I was like, okay, I'll put in Uncharted 1. I haven't played this in forever. Beat it in a day. That game's awesome.
I know.
I was like, holy crap, this game is so good. And I forgot how good it was, and it holds up really, really well. The first Uncharted, it holds up so well. So I beat it, and I was like, all right. So I hopped into Uncharted 2, and now I'm like 80-something% done that. It's been like 3 days. Those games are so good. Uncharted 2 is golden.
It's fantastic.
And the way I think Last of Us is a better, like, you play Last of Us and you're like, okay, you take something with you when you finish Last of Us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
I stopped and I played the multiplayer. That's what I did in that game.
the multiplayer in that game is really good.
It is.
But you take something with you when you finish Last of Us, but when you play that game again, it's different. Like, it just doesn't feel the same. Uncharted, you can play that game over and over and over, and it's like watching your favorite movie over and over again. It just works. Oh, it's so great. So I'm excited. I'll be finished that soon, and then I don't know if I'm going to do Ratchet and then do Uncharted 3 because I'm way ahead of schedule now, or if I'm just going to finish Uncharted 3 and be done with it. But, gosh, those games are so good.
Yeah, they're very good.
I think
Never
that
played one.
the Uncharted collection is like well worth the.
Played the multiplayer on the 4 beta, and I hated it. So
Oh, it's so good.
I liked it. I've been both of the betas for the multiplayer on 4.
It's so
I'm
good.
excited for that game.
And it's so limited. I couldn't even play as Chloe, and I still did it. Oh, that's the other thing. Chloe is such a good character.
Yeah.
Like, Uncharted 1 is very contained. You're in basically one area. There's a couple characters, and you grow to like them by the end of it. But Uncharted 2, even the characters that aren't in the next one, like, you love Drake, you love Chloe, you love Elena, Sully, Harry. Lazarevich is such a good villain. Like,
Yeah, he's really good.
oh, it's such a good game. Jeff the cameraman.
You actually care about a cameraman for once.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the unpopular opinion. This will be a fun one. This is the part where we take a gaming opinion or nerdy opinion that may be different than the average opinion, and we talk about it. If you have an unpopular opinion, leave it down below.
we'd love to hear it.
This is a good one. This is one I'm avid about.
Let's hear it.
Our good friend Nick says, Western RPGs provide better and a more complete game experience than JRPGs, Japanese RPGs. Same level of memorable characters with better stories, better worlds, better gameplay, and better character progression. So how do we feel about JRPGs versus the Western RPG?
I don't know. I used to be almost strictly Western, but now I'm leaning more towards JRPGs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of on the fence right now.
Yeah, I am heavy JRPGs, and this is something that started recently.
Yeah.
I've never liked Western RPGs very much. I've never liked JRPGs very much. I've always been like kind of whatever.
Yeah.
And then I played Persona 4,
Persona.
and my life was changed. I went back. I started playing the Final Fantasy games. I'm getting like Star Ocean. I'm getting Tokyo Mirage. Like, I'm so much more invested in this. And as far as the Western ones go, I still have so many issues that I wish they would fix. And like, I've played some of them just because my friends like them and I want to understand. And we'll get into some of my issues with them. but like I actually really enjoy the JRPG, the way it's more linear and story based and everything, than the sporadic Western RPG. But we'll talk about it. So how do you feel?
So I love Western RPGs. I like that I get to like make this character, and like throughout this like open world like massive campaign kind of thing, he gets to like grow and evolve and like interact with all these different characters, and you can interact with them in different ways. And when I play like a JRPG, I feel like I'm playing this character, and he's all right. He's just like the set character. And I go through the game. I don't have like a lot of decisions I can make. The combat's usually kind of cool in the JRPGs. It like looks kind of epic. The storylines are usually pretty cool. Sometimes the JRPGs are just a little over the top for me.
That's very true. They're definitely way more over the top, which allows them to be a little more epic, because typically you fight things like you can fight like a dragon or whatever, but Western RPGs are normally rooted in reality or a time period.
The only big epic RPG that I like Western wise is like God of War.
It's not really a Western.
That's
That's
just
an
like a hack
action
and slash,
game,
That's
But I see what you're saying. But
just like as far as Western, like you don't get a lot of like Western like big epic games. That's like the only one I can think of.
Once again, Epic's working on Polygon.
Awesome, dude. That's awesome.
All right. So I wanted to look up kind of the differences and everything. And I'll talk about my complaints about the Western ones. But so my problem with Western RPGs is in JRPGs, I always feel like what I'm doing is important, no matter how bizarre or obscure or whatever the story is.
Yeah.
They have this complex in Japan of like this hero complex where like you're the chosen one to do whatever this mission is, and they always have that, and we don't have that as much here. But since they have that, they have these linear stories that do always feel grand and epic, and you're overcoming something that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Western RPGs, and I talked about it a little bit last week, my problem is always this sense of urgency that's not there. You have this open world, and you have this main quest. Your son's missing. Whatever. Your son's kidnapped. Whatever it is. Whatever your story is. And then, like, you can do that, but you can also go raise a goat and give its milk to this person to get coins to, like... There's this disconnect for me with the plot of the story and the world and what you're doing. And it always feels like... It just feels disjointed to me.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like things just kind of like happen, and I'm like, oh.
It's like I have something important to do, but first I need to collect bottle caps for the guys in the Fallout.
Yeah, there's just no sense of urgency for me to like push me forward or make me care. And I feel like I get this sense of like the quality over quantity type thing.
Yeah.
With Western RPGs, I feel like we get this quantity. It's this huge world. There's all this stuff to do, whatever. Whereas JRPGs are usually just fine-tuned to something way smaller, for sure, but they always just feel more fine-tuned, and that's why I like them. Whereas you play something like The Witcher, and you turn it on, and there's a million fucking dots all over the map, and you're just like, what am I supposed to do?
Where do I start?
I love that.
There's a million
I
things.
just have so much I can do. When I play like a JRPG, I like enjoy it for like the first couple hours, then I'm like, all right, well, I'll just try to beat this game, and then I just don't kind of enjoy it. Yeah, it feels very repetitive. Just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again.
So the
characters like start getting repetitive, like like I could play like Final Fantasy or like some other game, like big JRPG, and like the side characters even like look similar. They kind of feel similar.
They definitely look similar, but I mean like people from Dragon Quest look the same as people from The Witcher.
Yeah, that's fine. There's just a big emphasis on like the side characters and games like JRPGs. I think more than like in like Western RPGs, you're like so focused on this one guy. It seems like games like Witcher, Dragon Age, not so much.
See, I think it's the opposite. Like maybe not Witcher, but in a lot of the Western RPGs, you make your own character and you make them your own.
Yeah.
And I feel like you don't do that in as many, at least JRPGs. Like you have Cloud. and you're Cloud. You have lightning, and you're like,
Yeah.
you have your characters, and that's
I guess like
It's
Dark,
who
like
you are.
Dark Souls. You
I
can
feel like you're playing somebody else's story, but
it's
but
like they're
Western
showing
is your
you.
story.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. Like Western, it does feel like you choose your path. You talk to a lot of people, and they're like, there's like a good or a medium or whatever, and you kind of pick your own path. Whereas with the JRPG, it's always that hero story, like I was talking
I think
about.
I kind of like these mixes of the two. Like I feel like Dark Souls is kind of a mix of the two. I feel like Bloodborne is kind of a mix of these two. They're very cool. These are like dark gothic games.
They're made by Japanese developers
Yeah.
for a Western audience,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is exactly what Final Fantasy 15 is.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I'm
I
scared.
don't personally
I'm
enjoy
scared, Kellen.
I
You'll be fine.
don't personally enjoy these games. I'm all for
I
like
see
a
what
hard
they're doing,
game,
though.
but I see what they're doing and I think it's cool. I'm all for like about hard gameplay, but these games are like hard and like I play RPGs because it's relaxing and it's like fun,
You
Um,
play relaxing RPGs?
Yeah, I mean,
They're always frustrating to me.
really?
Yeah, you died. Go back to the title screen.
You lose an
You
hour.
lost an hour of
Yeah.
your life. No.
I don't think it's that crazy.
Not normally.
But like in Western RPGs, you like don't get that punished for like that.
Right,
Japanese,
JRPGs, you get
super punished.
very
yeah,
punished.
and it's
That
frustrating.
can be quite punishing.
Yeah, it's very frustrating, especially in like you die all the time, and
Yeah,
like
so Western RPGs are for big old babies.
yeah, and I
And
love it. I'm a big old baby, and I
JRPGs are
love
for
it.
men.
Yeah, I'm also a big fan of like the skill tree and like customizing my character.
That's another thing I
stuff.
don't like. Yeah, see, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
I love
This
skill
is so
trees.
opinion based, and like I'm just so strong on the other side, and it's not even like I'm like, oh, I don't like the way
Yeah.
Western. Like I don't like skill trees. I ignore them when I play games. I ignored them in Batman. I ignored them in Mass Effect. Like I just don't do them until I die 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, I guess I gotta upgrade my stuff. And then I put some points into things, and I go, all right, let's try it. Okay, I did it. Like I don't level as I go. I just don't.
I like skill
care.
trees and I like loot. So give me all that.
Yeah,
Good.
So something that he touches on that I definitely don't agree with is the memorable characters thing.
I think JRPs like snag
I
the
think they
memorable
usually have
characters.
better characters.
Yeah, like
except one exception. I love the Mass Effect characters.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's fair.
something I actually want to say about Mass Effect. But first, yeah, I agree. I think Mass Effect 2 in particular does have great.
I'm
characters.
gonna
Well,
say
the-
just
the
the
whole-
BioWare characters.
Well,
you have,
BioWare,
like,
yeah.
KOTOR, you have Mass Effect, you have Jade Empire. All these
KOTOR
have
has a
very
huge
memorable
advantage, and that's because it's Star Wars.
Wars.
Yeah,
related.
for sure.
Yeah.
But they are good, solid,
I mean, that's
memorable
my
characters.
that's my
that
favorite
work.
game. So
Yeah, it's awesome. They're fantastic.
Yeah, it's just like I feel like some of the most memorable video game characters of all time when you're talking RPGs are from JRP. Like you talk about Cloud,
one of my favorites hanging behind you.
Yeah.
Like-
or two of my favorite actually. The third one,
Lightning.
Lightning's terrible.
I mean, she's super popular and memorable. A lot of people hate her, but they know her.
Yeah,
You
for
know.
sure.
Unfortunately, yeah, I know her.
For sure.
And
I
then
think JRPs nail this down for sure.
yeah, they have so many characters like that. Like people
I
want
don't-
Cloud and Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
I don't
Like,
want
that's such a
I don't want a memorable character in an RPG.
like in Fallout.
I
you're
like
just
making
like
a character.
Face,
Well, they're
faceless
memorable
dude.
because
I know it's
because it's
awesome.
a character. In
Yeah.
Mass Effect, you're making a character.
Yeah, you get so
And
involved.
everybody
in,
calls him Shepard.
It's Shepard.
It's just yeah.
You get so involved in like this
But if you're-
character that you made.
You make
I
a
think
German
I think it's
Shepherd,
like a
so-
much. It's like a very different feeling you get than other games. Like you
Yeah,
made
that's
this
fair.
character, you get to play with him.
It's you. It's
Um,
not somebody else. Not
Something
you, but-
I want to say, I'm going to do a little revisionist thing. I'm thinking I liked Mass Effect 2 better now than 3 because
That's the general consensus.
I was just thinking about the game.
Yeah, I like 3 a lot.
Yeah, I was just kind of thinking
Except
about
for
it,
the ending.
and I was trying to think about the games and everything. I like taking a step back, and I was like, man, Mass Effect 2, like the way that game was set up,
It was great.
and then like how they did the end and stuff. I was like, that was really cool.
The suicide mission's fantastic.
The,
Yeah.
the storyline for
I-
that
I
game
liked
is
that.
sick. Yeah,
Like
the
it just has
characters are
better
cool.
characters, and then it has an awesome ending.
Care about the characters. is
Yeah.
part of
Even
it.
though that's like one time where I'm like, I think gameplay might actually fall short of just the character development.
Yeah,
in
see,
2.
Oh, it's
things
great.
I liked about 3 were like the gameplay and then
the gameplay
pa-
is just crisp and smooth.
Oh,
in
it's
3.
awesome. And then the pace at which the storyline went, I thought was really cool. Like 2, there were a couple parts they didn't get boring, but I felt like I would was getting drug along to this next
See,
part.
3 has a little bit of that urgency thing you were talking
Mhm,
about.
yeah.
At least it feels like it to me.
Yeah,
when I
it
play
feels like
Yeah, like if
it's
you
just a
don't do
bunch
it,
of
you
shit
miss your missions.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is interesting. Like I got frustrated sometimes. I was like, oh man, I was gonna get to that.
Yeah.
But it did add stakes to what you were doing.
Yeah, yeah.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah, because I think there was a school that you could go visit in
Yeah.
that game, and I didn't do it, and I planned on doing it after I finished this mission, and I
Yeah.
went back, and they're like, nope, you missed it.
Took too
Yeah.
long.
And I was like, oh,
The school's
that's
The
different,
school's actually pretty cool.
because that didn't matter
it's
in
very cool.
in the other. Like,
Well-
I thought that was cool.
There's a big change in the third one. Anyways.
It's a very different game.
So something that I looked up that I was actually really interested in was the sales. So I was super surprised because
Yes.
yeah, first off, I kind of I was thinking about like the big guns. Biggest JRPG, Pokemon.
The best game.
Talk about memorable characters. So many people
Everyone
can
knows
everybody
Pikachu.
knows what
Yeah.
a Pikachu
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
you
And
know.
Ash. Everyone knows the name.
I mean, it's a little unfair because this had like a very popular TV show.
But the game was first.
The game was first, yeah.
and the game's real good.
I agree.
So yeah, I looked those up. Pokemon Red and Blue, just Red and Blue, have sold more than any of the other games we're going to talk about. It was
Oh, yeah,
like
by-
32 million.
What's crazy about these games is like a 5-year-old loves them and a 35-year-old loves them. Like they're
Yeah,
just
I left
they're
it
just
off my
good
list.
games.
I put like 10 hours in Omega Ruby this week, so you know.
Yeah. So like just right there, as far as JRPGs, like that's insane. Then I wanted to look at like the second best because obviously that's like a huge one, and all like the top like 10 Pokemons trump everything
The second
still.
best
Yeah,
was
it's
Silver,
crazy.
like 28 million.
Yeah, it's insane. So the next thing is Final Fantasy VII, and that sold 10 million just on the PlayStation 1. And then you add like all the digital releases and everything like
Yeah,
that.
I've got it on Steam, so.
Yeah, it doesn't count any of that. So it sold 10 million just on the PlayStation 1. And I was very curious to see like what the best Western ones are because they do not do as well as I thought that they did in my mind.
The numbers you were reading to me didn't seem right, but
Yeah, I was surprised. So like Fallout 4 did very well. I think it sold like 6 million on PS4, less on the Xbox One, obviously. But like Final
Didn't do,
Fantasy,
like any sales on PC, did it?
the PC one was The Witcher. That's what I said.
okay.
Witcher 3.
oh yeah, it had like no PC.
Yeah, it was under 1 million, and that's what I say to people when everybody's like, "Oh, PC." I'm like, people pirate it on PC, and that's
Yeah,
the
that's
reason there's
fair.
not a lot of sales. But yeah, I looked up The Witcher, and like it wasn't even close. It's like a couple million for the PlayStation, couple million less than that for the Xbox, whatever.
Yeah.
And like I saw the Final Fantasy 13 numbers, and like on the PS3, it outsold Skyrim, which is the biggest Western RPG sale. So I was just shocked. I recommend you, if you're interested in this topic and you like sales data like me, you kind of look that up. Like Skyrim was the #1 Western RPG, and then the Pokemons were obviously the
Like
next
crushed
one.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the Final Fantasies were the second best JRPG, and then even things like Dragon Quest have sold like 7 million, and I feel like they are at a strong disadvantage because they only sell on PlayStation consoles, whereas these Western ones sell on PlayStation consoles and 360s or Xbox Ones. But nobody has an Xbox One in Japan. These were all global sales, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
global.
But the one that did outsell like Fallout's release and everything on the PS3, I think it was 2 million. I don't know. I'm almost tempted to look it up now. It was so crazy. I was just like, this is insane. And I couldn't believe that Final Fantasy 13 outsold Skyrim on the PS3.
Yeah,
Here
it
we are.
surprised me, but
And then you look at the 360 Final Fantasy 13, and you're like, oh, because nobody bought it for
nobody.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just surprised at
It's
how
so
well it
weird
sells.
because on like Xbox you only see if you like. I'll have like 22 friends online. Like today, I look over and one person's playing Dark Souls 3. The other people are playing like Fallout 4 and all these other like very Western games. So I feel like Xbox has like a much bigger like market for like Western games.
Yeah, and the problem is now, especially with this generation, they're outsold 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they're just not getting the sales numbers that they did on the
They just don't have
360.
the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like even though the PS3 outsold the 360 overall, it's still people. If it had, how can I say, it took a long time for it to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So
took
people were buying
years.
games for the 360 constantly, whereas PS3 they're like, exclusives, So all those third-party games all went to 360 users.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I said before I cut away to look up some sales stuff. The reason I don't like using this during it's because it fucks with the audio. But before I cut away to look up the sales stuff is JRPGs are on a lot of handhelds now.
Yeah.
And that's like an important. Obviously, Pokemon's thrive
Pokemon,
there,
yeah.
but so many of them just appear on handhelds now, whereas Western RPGs can't really.
They're too big.
Yeah, though there is one for the N-Gage. There's an Elder Scrolls on the N-Gage.
Oh god.
I don't know why. So I said that I'd get back to it, so I guess I'll do it now. The turn-based thing. Another thing that I feel like about JRPGs, maybe not so much anymore, but when they were all turn-based, is they hold up over time better.
Yeah, see, when I was younger, I didn't care for the turn-based.
Yeah, me neither.
And now I like it, so
I
that's
like it
probably
too.
part of the reason I've gotten more into those.
Yeah, I just feel like you can go back, and even though the graphics might not be great, but like if you go play like Final Fantasy VI, that's sprite based, which has graphics.
I
that,
almost bought that game yesterday on Steam, but found out it didn't work great. But so I didn't. But
yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I don't know anything about how Steam. I just see news stories. It's like, that's broken.
It was a tablet port that they didn't optimize for PC. Is the problem?
I have actually heard that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another thing. Like, I feel like the turn-based gameplay, the gameplay of the game holds up over time.
Yeah.
Much better than something like a Fable 1 would now. You know. So
I love Fable 1 though.
have you played it recently though?
No, but I need to.
Played Fable 2 like 2 months ago.
How was that?
It was awesome. I love
Was
that
it?
game.
I have Fable 1. I think I have the whatever the bigger edition is on Steam. I need to play it. It's very good.
Game's sweet. The storyline for that
Oh,
game's like
Lost Chapters.
But
that's
now,
Yeah.
think about like 15 years from now. Is Fables? Would that gameplay hold up as well as like
it. I mean, it's
just a turn-based sprite game?
probably
No.
not, but
Yeah,
that's
So-
part of the reason KOTOR holds up so well because it's kind of turn-based, but it feels like an action RPG.
that's true. That's so like I feel like we're at the point where they've blended.
They're starting to
like
mix
this.
and match.
This is the pinnacle of them blending. Like you
Yeah.
said, Dark Souls.
Dark
That's
I mean, like
Souls.
look at
Dark
Final
Souls.
Fantasy 15.
Dark Souls is a big one.
is a great one. Final Fantasy 15 is scary. How Western
It's very
RPG that
Western.
is.
Yeah.
And then they put
Western
in a
with
flying.
Japanese art style.
They put in a flying car. So I'm like, okay, I'm thinking about it now.
Yeah. It looks very like Japanese. Like it looks very epic.
Yeah, it's Western with a
but
Japanese art style.
Yeah, I'm about to say it plays very Western.
Yeah, the thing is, even in Final Fantasy 15, it seems like it's grounded in that reality that I was talking about that Western RPGs do. It looks like our world, and there's like some creatures and some futuristic stuff.
And some
but
sword teleporting.
Yeah, but it's very much familiar. Whereas if you play Final Fantasy 13, it's not familiar at all. There isn't like a recognizable thing in that game. There's gravity things, and they don't explain anything, and it takes a while to get into that world.
Final Fantasy really reminds me of like the new Metal Gear. Like
That's
the way it
another
looks.
one that I mean
It looks
that's
a lot like that.
that's
It
not
looks
a
so much like
JRPG,
it.
but
Yeah.
that's another Japanese thing that's going towards the Western market, and that's just because sales in Japan have done this, and sales here have done that.
Yeah.
And so they're gearing their stuff towards
toward the market.
towards the market where the money is. So, which I'm fine. I'm interested to see how it goes because we still do get these Persona 5 and Tokyo Mirage, like the classic JRPGs.
Looking
We
forward
get
to
our
those.
weird mixtures.
Yeah.
and then
I do see
we
like
have
the
our Western
modern
games.
JRPGs, like they're getting some Western elements to them, but they are kind of staying away from this open world thing that the Western RPGs do a lot of. I can't think of a JRPG that has like a crazy open world.
Final Fantasy 15.
15's probably going to
Has
be
a crazy open world.
Oh my gosh.
supposed to
yes.
be, yeah. Just
Yeah.
huge.
That's sweet.
And Metal Gear is a huge open world as well, though not
Not really an
RPG. I
yeah.
mean, it is. I mean, you level stuff up, but I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really consider it one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a stealth game that you can
So stealth shooter.
pull people up in balloons and shoot them down, and
Put a big bunch of balloons of yourself
That's
up
the
and
reason I
hide in
didn't
them.
beat
It
that
reminds me of,
game.
like Splinter Cell, but
the
Japanese
old
stuff.
ones,
Yeah.
the new one, not at all. But
But we're not going to talk about
I
those.
just want to shoot stuff, so I didn't play them.
Fine.
so thank you so much for watching this episode of the Press X podcast. Like I said, leave a comment down below. We can get to it on the viewer questions or the unpopular opinion. That would be great. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Kellen.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching.